Okay, so we'll have a quick revision of what we studied in the last classes, that is yesterday's classes. Meghna, tell me, first what did we learn?
Demographic,
What were they, the heading?
nature of psychological data,
Yes, then?
and demographic information,
Yes,
physical information,
yes,
psychological data,
yes.
uh,
One more.
psychologist information,
Physiological information.
physical information. Then data can be in various forms,
Okay.
and
Can you
some
name 2-3 forms, Amal? Thank you, Meghna.
category,
Yes,
rank,
res,
score,
scores on scales. Then
report,
sorry,
verbal report,
verbal reports. Yes,
observation record,
observation records. Okay, enough.
personal diaries,
Personal diaries. Okay, very good. Now Ashish, what was the next portion that we learned? Yes, Ashish. Yes.
Advantage and disadvantages.
Of what? Ashish is being lazy. Yes, yes. Read from your notes. Advantages and disadvantages of what did we learn? What? What method? I can't hear you. That's okay. Okay. Fine. Who will? Aishwarya, tell me.
Observation method.
Observation method. So, what all did we learn in the observation method?
In advantages, the
No,
researcher
before that, we learned something. After the introduction to observation method, we learned something. What was that?
non-participant and participant observation.
Then, one more type.
Natural and
Naturalistic
naturalistic
versus
and what do we say? Not laboratory, what
controlled observation.
controlled observation.
And before that, we saw the three aspects in which, regarding which the day-to-day observations differ from the scientific observation also. All right. Okay. The next portion or the next method that we are going to learn is experimental method. Can you see the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is experimental method? The term experiment is quite common to us. We have in other sciences learned about experiments a lot. In psychology also we have different types of experiments, and regarding this particular method we have so many terms to study. After that only we can study how the method is really conducted. In observation method, it was a common method. We, in advantages, we told that that is one of the simplest method to do. But in experiment, when we come to this particular method, it's quite different from the observation method, where we have to deal with so many psychological terms or the technical terms that is to be learned prior to doing the experiment. We'll see which all they are. The first thing is about the introduction to experiments. Experiments are generally conducted Just a minute. Okay. Experiments are generally conducted to establish cause-effect relationship between two sets of events or variables in a controlled setting. So usually experiments happen in a controlled setting, and what happens in experiment is we have two or more set of variables or events or psychological processes or psychological variables or behaviors to deal with, and we try to establish or we try to find out the cause effect relationship between them. That is, we set one thing as a cause and we find what effects does it create. That is what happens in experiments. It is a carefully regulated procedure in which changes are made in one factor and its effect is studied on another factor while keeping other related factors constant. So the factor in which we make changes, that is the cause, and the effect is studied on another factor. The cause is in one hand, we study its effect on some other factor. So the factor that is being affected by the cause will be the effect. Understood? That is why we are studying cause effect relationship in an experiment. Now, here cause is the event being changed or manipulated. Effect is the behavior that changes because of the manipulation. You are going to hear this particular word manipulation all throughout the experimental method. So, are you aware of the meaning of it? Manipulation? Yes? If
Yes,
anybody
ma'am.
knows? Yes, tell me, what is it?
It means like doing something wrong or um,
Yeah, trying to use people, right?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that is a common meaning that we have heard. In literature terms, manipulation means to use someone for our own selfish needs. Hmm? But in experimental method, what manipulation means is to try to control, influence, or to use something in a very skillful manner. Understood? To control, note down, to control, influence, or use something in a very skillful manner. So what is the thing that is being used here? The variables or the behaviors or the events. That is the thing being used in the experimental methods as concerned to psychology. So here we heard a statement that is cause is the event being changed or manipulated. So the thing being manipulated in an experiment regarding psychology will be always the cause. The causal factor will always be changed or manipulated or used in some or the other way to study its effects in another factor, which is the effect. Okay, that is the next statement. Effect is the behavior that changes because of the manipulation. Understood? Got some idea?
Can you repeat it? I didn't understand.
Okay, I'll repeat it. Yes, we have a cause and effect. Hmm? And the cause is something that the experimenter changes or uses in a very skillful manner. Hmm? If I have this particular cause at hand, I will change it in some other way and see how these changes can influence the effect. Hmm? Understood that particular concept? Yes, and it will be more clear when we go to the next topic. If you have doubts, then ask me. Yes. So basically, in experimental method, we study the cause-effect relationship, and cause is something that the experimenter tries to change, and what we study in the experiment is the effects of this particular cause on something else. That is what we are trying to study in experimental method. Now, before we go on to the method, I told you we have different terms to deal with in this particular method. So first thing is about the concept of variable. What was variable? Yes.
Something that keep on changing.
Something that varies or changes and can be measured. You have to add that point also. It has to be open to measurement. Then only we can call it a variable. Otherwise, if it keeps on changing and we can't measure it, then what is the use of being changed? So there are 2 points in defining a variable. One is anything that varies or changes, and it should be measured. It should be we should be able to measure it. So any stimulus or event or behavior as it is which varies, that is it takes on different values and can be measured, is a variable. It is termed as a variable. Note in your lecture notes, any stimulus or event which varies, that is it takes on different values or changes and can be measured, is a variable. An object by itself is not a variable. For example, the room that you are sitting in, that is not a variable because the size of the room can be considered as a variable. Room as a term is not a variable. Room cannot be changed, but the size of the room can be changed or varied, and it can be measured, right? In terms of its height, in terms of its breadth and other dimensions. So any object that we take cannot be considered as a variable. That is the fact that we are studying here. Then the variation can be in the quality or quantity of objects or events. So as we studied yesterday, the data that we get, they can be in qualitative terms or quantitative terms. We can get scores which are quantitative in nature, or we can get the degree of interest. That is not a quantity, right? The interest that you have towards something, the attitude, your attitude towards something, all those are qualities. So the variation in the quality or quantity of the objects or events can occur. Then variables are of many types, and in this particular chapter or regarding the experimental method, we study 2 main variables. Okay, and we'll see what those variables are. We'll see a video and come, and then I'll explain. Okay, just a minute. Can you see? Can you see the YouTube page?
No, ma'am.
Now can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What about the audio? Can you hear the audio too?
Ma'am, it's very low.
Low. Just a minute, I'll mute this.
Ma'am, we can't hear the audio at all.
Can you hear my audio?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I'll explain. Just see the video, okay? I'll pause and tell you. Just read those factors that they're discussing and I'll explain. Okay.
So if you remember back in experiments, you're trying to keep most of the variables the same. You want to change only one of them because you want to test it. You want to see if that variable is.
So here what they're telling is in experiments, we try to find the cause-effect relationship. There's something that we already discussed earlier. This is regarding the other scientific fields. They are explaining independent and dependent variables in general. Not specifically to psychology, but in general, they are trying to explain the independent and dependent variables.
Influence on the results. So let's use an example of plants growing in a garden. Let's say
Yes, here they are trying to explain with an example, that is plants growing in a garden. Let's see what happens.
that describe and define psychological terms that may be tricky to understand at first. Today we're talking about independent and illustrate that for you. Now, this is the variable, well, the deep relation, which only one of them is full of this fertilizer. So, individual wants to make sure that the plants can grow, and he wants to see how effective this fertilizer is.
Okay, so what the person is trying to do is he is going to measure how the plants are growing with the application of certain amount of fertilizer. He is going to have 3 sets of plants, that is marked 1, 2 and 3 here, and he is going to apply this fertilizer to these 3 plants. Okay, that is the experiment that he is going to do.
So what he would do is he'd have 3 seeds, and he would probably estimate that fertilizer is one of the key factors that goes into plant growth. However, he knows that there are other things like water and sunshine. So first,
Yes. So the plant needs the fertilizer to grow. Along with that, plant needs other factors like water and sunlight. So what he is focusing is only on the fertilizer and its effect on the plant growth. But he also knows that he has to consider other factors like water and sunlight and provide them for these 3 plants to grow. And he is trying to keep the water amount and the sunlight amount constant, that is same for all the 3 plants. So what all did he do? He took 3 sets of saplings. He want to study the effect of this particular fertilizer on the plant growth, and he also considered that the plant needs water and sunlight to grow, so he kept the sunlight and water as constant. Clear till now?
he lets there be enough sunshine so that all the plants will get the exact same amount for the exact same amount of time. Then he would control.
So you see the symbols there, the 3 sets of plants, they get equal amounts of water as well as sunlight. That is the condition now.
Another factor of water. If you give the plants all the same amount of water, because you want to keep those first 2 factors the same. The last one, fertilizer, this is the one that keeps changing. So what do you?
Yes. So the 3 sets of plants or saplings, they got equal amount of water, equal amount of sunlight also. What he is trying to change here is the amount of fertilizer. That is the one given in beside that 1, 2, 3. That is 5%, 10% and 20%. So the first sapling, only 5% of fertilizer was provided. Then for the second one, 10% was given. And for the third one, 20% of fertilizer was applied. you have to note that the rest of the factors like sunlight and water was kept constant or the same for all the three plants. But what was varied or what was changed here was the amount of what? Amount of
Fertilizers.
fertilizers. Yes, correct. Now let's see what happens.
What you do is you would change the amount or the percentage of fertilizer for each plant to see if there actually is an impact. So after a designated amount of time of waiting, he would then measure the plants to see which ones grew higher and if the fertilizer.
So what happens is after a certain amount of time or after a number of days, he tries to measure the plant growth, how much each plant has grown. So you can see in this picture, according to the application of the fertilizer, the three sets of plants has grown in different ways. Yes, the first one has grown just a little bit. The second one has grown to an average height. Then the third one has grown and it has bloomed also, the flowers.
So in this example, the independent variable is the thing that you are influencing, the thing that you are changing. So if the experimental factor that is being manipulated is fertilizer, then the independent variable would be the fertilizer.
So here, what the person is trying to say is the independent variable. We have two main variables. Did you see that in the video? Did you notice? Anybody? No. Okay. We are trying to learn about independent and dependent variables. So the fertilizer's amount is that thing that we changed for the three plants, right? So this particular amount of fertilizer, that is the independent variable in the study. Independent variable is something that the experimenter changes in its values. It is not dependent on any other factors. The experimenter is free to change its value as and when he or she wants. So here in this experiment, the only thing that we changed was the amount of fertilizer. We kept the water amount constant, we kept the sunlight's amount constant, and we tried to study the change in the level of fertilizer in what? What did it cause? The amount of fertilizer, and what did we learn? The plant growth. We studied the effect of fertilizers on plant growth. So the cause was the amount of fertilizer, right? With the different amounts of fertilizer, we tried to find its effect on the plant growth. So the 5%, 10% and 20% was how the experimenter varied it. Experimenter manipulated it. Okay, that's what is told here.
This is the thing that you are studying to see if it has an effect on the results. While the dependent variable is the outcome factor. This is the variable.
Yes, dependent variable is the outcome factor, the variable that may change in response to manipulations of the independent variable. So dependent variable can be considered as the response or the effect of the changes in the independent variable.
Change in response to manipulation of the independent variable. Meaning, this is what you are measuring. So, independent variable is the amount of fertilizer, the percentage of fertilizer in the plant, while the dependent.
Yes, independent variable was the amount of fertilizer and the dependent variable was the plant growth, the plant's height. The dependent variable is that we are measuring in the experiment. Okay, and this one we just changed its values and we just applied the fertilizer. And the dependent variable, what did we do with it? We measured it. We were focused on this particular plant growth. We wanted to study the plant growth. And for that, what did we do? We applied it. We applied the fertilizer. We manipulated the independent variable to study its effects on the dependent variable. Understood? Somewhat.
Variable is how tall or how much the plants have grown, and you're able to measure the difference. So, dependent variable would be plant growth, while independent variable would be the amount
Okay, that's enough for that. Okay, we'll go back to our presentation. So we were studying about independent and dependent variables. And can you see the screen now? Presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This topic, I know it can't be digested so easily. It requires so much amount of reading. Even after 5 or 6 years or 7 years of studying psychology, people even today confuse with these independent and dependent variables. So it's okay if you didn't understand it completely. I'll explain it again. So, independent variable. Independent variable, it is that variable which is manipulated or altered or its strength varied by the researcher in the experiment. You just learned that by heart. The variable that the experimenter is trying to change or varying in the experiment is called independent variable. Okay, any variable that the experimenter or the researcher is changing in an experiment, it is the independent variable. And the effects that it is creating, the effects that we are studying in that particular study, that is the dependent variable. The dependent variable, that term suggests that it is dependent on something that has happened earlier. That something is the cause, and that cause is the independent variable. It is the effect of this change in the variable which the researcher wants to observe or note in the study. So the independent variable's effect is being studied on the dependent variable. This can be considered as the cause in any experimental situation. So in simple terms, independent variable is the cause and dependent variable is the effect in any experiment. And we have the dependent variable. The variables on which the effect of independent variable is observed is called dependent variable. Dependent variable represents the phenomena the researcher desires to explain. It can be considered as the effect in any experimental situation. The same as I told before, when independent variable is the cause, then dependent variable is the effect. I'll give you an example. Just wait. Okay. In psychology, we try to learn. Elvina and Grishma, your videos are off. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in psychology, let's take an example. We are trying to study the effect of sleep on the marks that you get in exams. Okay. Is that situation clear? So the suppose how many hours do you sleep? Raina, tell me. At night, on an average.
5 to 7.
5 to 7. Let's keep it 7 then. Meghna,
6 to 7.
6 to 7. Okay. Ashish, just tell me a single number.
7.
7. Okay. Elvina,
7 hours.
7. Grishma,
7.
7. Aishwarya,
8.
8. Amal,
7.
7. Okay. So you all have these different values, and I am trying to study the effect of this particular sleeping hours on your academic scores, the marks that you get in the exam. So I am trying to vary. I am taking you for an experiment. I am trying to put you to sleep. Some of you I'll put you to sleep for 10 hours. And some of you I'll try to wake you up early. That is, you'll get only 5 hours of sleep. Just imagine. And so hours of sleep is the cause here. The amount that I'm varying is the independent variable. It is not dependent on any other things but just me. According to my wish, I am varying the values of this particular independent variable. I can give the hours as 7 if I want. I can give it as 2 hours. I can give it as 3 hours. I can give it as 4 hours. So according to the researchers or the experimenters wish, I can change these values. Yes. So that is the independent variable in our study. And what are we trying to study? This particular independent variable or the cause has an effect on something. Effect on what? What are we trying to study here? Yes.
Effect on the marks.
Yes, effect on the marks. So that marks is the dependent variable. It is dependent on this particular cause, which is our, what is the cause here?
Sleep, hours of sleep.
Sleep hours. So this whole relationship that is between the sleep hours and the marks that you get in exams, that is the cause effect relationship that we are focusing in this particular experiment. So I give different values for the independent variable, which is the sleep hours, and then I try to study, or I try to learn, or I try to research what this particular sleep hours or the other set of sleep hours has, how it is affected to the marks. So I find out that the people who slept more, means more than required, has some issues in the marks. The people who slept, who had enough sleep, they got good marks. The people who were sleep deprived, that is got only 2 or 3 hours of sleep, their marks also went down. So that is the effect that we are learning. And the scores or the marks that we get here in our experiment is the effect of something else. Effect of what again? Effect of the sleep. Yes, the amount of sleep we varied according to the researcher's wish. And with that, we tried to measure its effect on something else, which was the marks or scores in our exams. So that becomes the dependent variable of our experiment. And it is that particular effect or that particular dependent variable that we are measuring in our experiment. Understood? Anybody who didn't understand? I'll give another example. If you didn't understand, tell me, it's okay, because this takes too much time to register in your head. Everybody understood? Yes or no? Ashish, did you understand? Reina?
Not much, ma'am.
Not much. Okay, wait. I'll give you another example. Meghna, did you understand? Somewhat.
Not really. Somewhat.
Yes. Greshma? Okay. Elvina?
Somewhat, ma'am.
Okay. Is it okay for you? Yes. Okay. Amal? Did you understand?
Somewhat.
Yes?
Yes,
Yes or no?
yes,
Sorry?
ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Aishwarya?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'll give you another example. Let's take the exercise. The hours of exercise that we do and its effect on weight of a person. Just leave these terms independent and dependent variable and just consider the terms cause and effect. Just put it like that. And the what are we trying to learn here? We are trying to learn the effect of exercise on our body weight. Understood? Situation clear? Yes. So for different people, I am the experimenter here, and I give different hours of exercising for all different participants in my study. So for person A, I would tell him to exercise for half an hour each day. He has to exercise for half an hour. or not each day, during the day in which we are conducting the experiment, he is supposed to exercise half an hour. Then the next person B comes along, and I give him 1 hour of exercise. And for the other person, I give just 5 minutes of exercise. So I have varied the amount in the causes. I'm studying the effect of this exercise on something else, which is, what are we studying?
On the body weight.
Body weight. So body weight will be our cause or effect. Reina, tell me.
Ma'am, question once more. It's not
Body
clear.
weight. We are trying to measure the body weight finally. At the end of the study, we are interested to know how the body weight will change. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the body weight will be our cause or effect.
Effect.
Effect. Yes. Be sure about it. You're correct. Okay. So what is the cause here then?
Cause here is like time. Yeah.
Time of what?
Like time used to exercise.
Time used to exercise. That is the cause here. So whatever effect we are measuring, that is whatever difference in body weight that we are trying to measure, this occurred, or the difference in body weight occurred because of some other reason that has happened earlier, and that will be obviously the cause, right? And what is the cause we are studying?
Time we exercise.
Yes, the time of the exercise. So here what happens is, we have the cause effect relationship in an experiment. The cause will be the hours or the time taken for the exercise, and the effect on the other side will be the difference in the body weight of the person. So person A, B and C were there. For the first person we gave half an hour, then we gave 1 hour, then we gave 5 minutes for the 3 people. And what we are likely to observe is, the person who exercised more would have lower body weight, or the difference in body weight will be significant in that particular person. That is person B, who got 1 hour of exercise. And for person who got 5 minutes of exercise, he might not have much difference in his body weight. And the other person, it depends. In whichever amount we are giving, the effect will vary according to the cause. Yes, somewhat clear? Okay, so this cause and effect, they are termed as independent and dependent variable. That is the only thing you have to learn. You might confuse it with the terms. Just learn that any cause that is happening, that is the independent variable, and the effect that we are having, that is the dependent variable. Okay, and in any experiment, the value that the experimenter is trying to change will be of the cause only. That is only of the independent variable. So when we saw the video, when in that example, the fertilizer was the independent variable. Fertilizer's amount was that thing that we varied, that the experimenter changed, kept on changing. That is 5%, 10% and 20%, right? And in our examples, the regarding sleep hours and the marks, the sleep hours was the thing that I tried to change, right? And we just kept the other things constant, and we studied its effect on something else, which was the marks. And in the third example, what did we see? We saw the effect of what? The time required or the time allotted for doing exercise. That was an independent variable. That was our cause. And that was varied according to my wish. That is 5 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour and all. We can give any other amount of time according to the experimenter's wish, and then study its effect on something else, which will be the effect of this particular cause. That effect is always termed as dependent variable. The dependent variable, that name suggests that it is dependent on something else. That something else is the yes,
Dependent on the cause.
dependent on the cause. Cause is termed as what, Reina? Cause is always called as the
variable.
What
Like-
variable?
Like
Independent or dependent variable?
dependent.
No, again confused. How would I tell you? Okay, you have this I and D, independent variable and dependent variable, IV and DV. Okay, always I come first. Remember it like that. Okay, cause and effect. Can effect happen before the cause?
No.
No, only the cause can create an effect, right? So always I come first. Remember it like that, everybody. Okay, independent variable should occur first in order to create its effects on the dependent variable. Understood? Okay. If you have time, before our next class, go through that portion, independent and dependent variable in the textbook. Okay. I think we can wind up now. Yes. We have 2 more classes left, so meet you again in the afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.